Good morning, everybody. It is April 15th, 2021, Thursday morning, 6:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Today we're going to take a look at the euro. I'm going to show it to you broken down by method 1 and method 2. Method 1, in method 1 the pivots set the times from the overnight chart, and in method 2 we use the preset times, which are determined by the pattern every day. So we're going to take a look at the method 2 preset times first. I'm going to show you the times from yesterday and how they worked, and then we'll look at today's projections. So here's yesterday's chart with the 5 predetermined times from method 2. These are marked by the vertical lines. There are two types of traps that we always have to watch out for. So I've set this bar up with Heikin-Ashi charts. The easiest way to trade this is to primarily you're looking for a reversal pivot first, right at or within a bar or two of these timers. So you can see the first one we had to push up, we had a reversal down into our time, and then we end up with a long trade off of that first trigger. We have two different types of traps that we have to deal with in trading. One is the W pattern or the M pattern. And in this case we have this W pattern here, and you can see we have these wicks. I marked this pattern out with trend lines. I'm going to pull them out of there. Okay, now you can see the pattern a little clearer. You can see when we made the initial low in front of the timer, we've got 3 wicks down here on the Heikin-Ashi bar. We come into the middle of the W, make a little high. At that point there, we're looking for a reversal bar to go short. What happens? We get a bar here with a long wick. Now this is where you have to be real careful, because if you take the short here, you end up getting 2 wicks, and then the market reverses and starts heading up. When you see this developing, if you take the short, this is where you want to stop and reverse and turn your short into a long. We look at that and we call that a W trap or an M trap if the market's moving up into that. And you can generally see that when you get these type of situations where these bars have these type of wicks. That shows you that there's a strong area of support right here. You also had the prior low where you had the same situation. So this was a strong area of support yesterday. The next trigger came in over here. What happens? The market trades down, retests the area of those prior lows. Doesn't quite get there. Turns around into our timer. So in this case we're looking for a reversal bar. It doesn't come. But we can learn something from this. This is what we call our other trap scenario, where this indicator gives us the middle of the swing. So what happens when you get a low or high form prior to the timer, the market duration of or amplitude of movement coming into the timer from this low to the timer right here, if it doesn't reverse, it will tend to go through and track the same amount of price to the high as it made from the low to the midpoint. So we've got from the low to the midpoint right here where we hit the timer. That gives us the midpoint or middle of the swing. And then from there we go up and track the price the same amount. And what happens? We then go into about 30-40 minutes of sideways action before the market continues up. So you can either sit that one out or take a continuation trade after you make a bar or two through the timer zone without a reversal bar. Then you can then take the long trade. Then you can see the 2 trades later in the day. The first was just a small corrective swing up. The second one was a significant low, pivot low. Now let's move into today. Here are the 5 preset times for today. It looks like this one is going to be a midpoint swing move because we didn't reverse out of there. It's either going to be a midpoint swing move or a failure. So what are we going to look for? We're going to look to continue this move the same amount of distance that we had coming into it. So if this is the midpoint of the swing, that's our distance in price coming down. So we're going to be looking for that to trade down to the 1.1968 area for this swing to finish out, and that may come right down into our next time zone to do that. We've got another hit here at about 10:38, and then we've got the afternoon. It's going to come in this window between 13:59 and 13:08 or 14:08, and then another one at 15:06, 15:07 area. So those are the method 2 trades. Now I'm going to move these lines and show you the method 1 trades, which are identified by the pivots. So for method 1 from yesterday, the 14th, we had the high came in right here, overnight high about 3:24 a.m. We take the color pattern, project that forward. The next hit is right here at the low. We take the overnight low area, project that forward, and that gives us this low here at 15:09 bar. Now again, here's that little W pattern. Now what do you want to do to project that? When that little W pattern is your low that you're going to use to project from, this was technically the low, but what you want to do with this is take the middle of the W, because the middle of the W has to be considered to be the swing pivot. It's just a fake out test area of the low before the reversal. So this is generally going to be your best point to project from, and that gave us this low. So those were the only 2 points from the 14th. Let's take a look at the 15th next. Okay, here are the method 1 trades for the 15th from the overnight chart. Starting out here on the left side of the chart, we had this high come in around 2100, a little bit after. That color pattern projected to this next high, which I have the vertical line marking it, and I connected those 2 points with this horizontal trend line to show the connected area. So that's your one cycle, first cycle right there. Then the euro contract reverses, trades down into this low about 1:03 a.m. This particular pattern projects forward to this point here. That one's going to come in around 7:32 this morning. The next pivot I used was the one that was projected from the earlier high. This made a slightly higher high. The same color pattern, light blue to yellow, projects forward to later today at about 10:31 a.m. And then we took the overnight high, the final high came in at 5:21 a.m. and that is the gray pattern here that projects to the gray over here at about 12:54 p.m. So you don't have to really limit yourself to just those overnight highs. You can project all these highs and lows forward, and these are going to give you some really good results. So a little longer than I wanted to do today, but I wanted to explain that so you guys have a better understanding of how that pH works. So that's it for today. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video, and we'll see you then.